Hello everyone. Today we'll be looking at the chapter of ratio and proportion, and we'll be dealing with the concepts involved in this chapter and then examples pertaining to those concepts, and then we'll deal with the questions and the approaches to find out the solutions. Okay, we'll also be dealing with the type of questions which are being asked in the competitive exams, and we have categorized them in the 8 types here. And in the type 1 we will be asked to find out the combination of the ratio. So we'll be given an expression or two by giving us a is to b and b is to c, and then we'll be asked to find out, let's say, a is to b is to c. So this is type 1. In type 2 there will be some operations done on the numbers involved in the ratio. Let's say a upon b is given to us, and we'll also be given a plus b or a minus b or whatever, and based on these equations we'll be asked to find out the values of a and b. In type 3 we'll be dealing with the fractions, so we'll be given numbers such as 1 upon 2, 1 upon 3, whatever is there in the form of p or q, p upon q, and we will be asked to find out the ratios based on these fractions. Okay, and in the next type, that is type 4, we'll be dealing with the percentage values. So percentage values which will be involved in, let's say, profit and loss, and uh, incomes and expenditures will be given to us in the percentage terms, and based on the ratios we'll be asked to find out the question's answer. Okay, in type 5 we'll be dealing with the equations. So a upon b would be given to us, and let's say some equation of 2a plus 3b equal to, let's say, some constant c is given to us, and based on these equations and the ratio we'll be asked to find out a and b's value. In type C we'll be dealing with incomes, expenditures, and the ratios involved. So we'll be given incomes and the expenditures, and we'll be given some ratio of savings of two people, and then that would be given to us in some ratio form, and we'll be asked to find out the values of these incomes or expenditure or savings. In type 7 we'll be dealing with the changes in the ratio. So a upon b is given to us, let's say certain change is made to it by subtracting 9 and let's say 10 from it, and we'll be getting some other ratio c or d which is let's say something else, and based on these values we'll be asked to find out whatever is the requirement of the questions. In type 8 we'll be dealing with the coins. So we know that denomination of coin has different value: 1 rupee coin, 50 paise coins, and 25 paise, and so on. So these would be given to us, and their values would be given to us in certain ratio, a upon b, or the number of coins would be given to us in certain ratio, and we'll be asked to find out whatever can be asked in the questions. Okay, let's move on. Okay, in the concepts part we will have a look at the properties involved, and that would clear our fundamentals, and we would be easily solving the questions. So the first property says that multiplying and dividing by same number on numerator and denominator. Okay, so if a upon b is one given number to us, and if you multiply it or divide it by the same number, let's say m being the same number, if you multiply ma in the numerator and multiply b with m here, so it becomes ma upon mb. So you know that this thing can get cancelled out, so the original ratio remains the same. Similar is the case when you divide it, a by n upon b by n, so the overall ratio remains the same. So this is one important property of ratios. Okay, the second one is denominator equation comparison. So in denominator equation comparison, we would be given two separate ratios, let's say 8 upon 3 and 11 upon 4. We would be asked to compare these two ratios, that which one is bigger. So in order to compare them we need common denominator. So if you get the common denominator, you would be able to find out the comparison between them, that which one is higher. So if we multiply and divide this expression by 1.33, 1.33 is nothing but 4 upon 3. We know that from the property 1 that if you multiply numerator and denominator by same number, your end expression is going to remain the same. So if you multiply it, what will you get? 8 times 1.33 would give you something around 10.67, and the denominator becomes 4. So now the 4 is common in denominator of both these numbers, and we know that 11 is higher than 10.67. So in the comparison of original ratios, 8 by 3 is less than 11 by 4. Okay, so this is how you compare two given ratios. Okay, multiplication of ratio. So if A upon B is given to you, and if you have to multiply it by C upon D, so your final answer would be A into C divided by BD, B into D. So what you are doing is multiplying the numerators and multiplying the denominators, and this would give you the final answer, which can be obtained by multiplying two different fractions. Okay, in the next property it says if A upon B is equal to C upon D is equal to E upon F is equal to G upon H is equal to some constant value, let's say K, then K can be found out to be A plus C plus E plus G divided by B plus D plus F plus H. What are these numbers? A, C, E and G, these are all the numerators. So you have to add all the numerators and you have to divide this summation by the summation of all the denominators, that is B, D, F and H. So your K's value would be summation of numerators divided by summation of denominators. This can be found out only if the expression given to us is A upon B is equal to C upon D and so on. Okay, now the next property says A upon B is equal to A plus C upon B plus D only if C or D, which is being added to A and B, is equal to C upon D is equal to A upon B. So consider a number, let's say 20 upon 30. So if you add 2 here and 3 here, so you will get 22 upon 33. So if you simplify it, it will become 2 upon 3. So the final answer is same as 20 upon 30, because 20 upon 30 is also, 0 gets cancelled out, this is 2 upon 3. So why is there no change occurring? Because the numbers which are being added, that is C and D, this is 2, this is 3, these are also in the same ratio as that of A upon B. A upon B is 2 by 3. C upon D here is also 2 upon 3. So if you are adding these in the numerator and denominator, the final expression which you are going to get is also going to be the same. Okay, let's understand the concept of proportion. So proportion is usually equating two equal ratios. So A upon B is equal to C upon D means that this expression on the left hand side is equal to the expression on the right hand side. This is also denominated by A upon B, and this equal to sign can be replaced by these 4 dots here or 2 columns. This would be C is to D. So proportion is acting as an equality sign between two given ratios. Okay, let's have a look at other properties. So it says componendo, dividendo, and the third one is componendo and dividendo. So what are these componendo and dividendo? So if we are given that A upon B is equal to C upon D, then this componendo would be equal to A plus B upon B is equal to C plus D upon D. So the changes which would be made in this left hand side expression, that is you add the denominator to the numerator. Denominator is B here, numerator is A. So if you are adding B over here and you are keeping the denominator same, so you will have to do the same function on the right hand side as well, and you will get the you will still get both these equations to be same. So on left hand side you are adding the denominator to numerator, a plus b upon b, and this would give you c plus d upon d. Similarly for dividendo, same expression is given to us, that a plus b equal to c plus d. You can write it as a minus b upon b, and on the right hand side you can do the same thing, c minus d upon d. So this is the dividendo function which is done on this particular expression, that is a by b equal to c by d. And talking about componendo and dividendo, we perform componendo and dividendo simultaneously on the left hand side and right hand side. So what will we get? We'll get a plus b upon a minus b is equal to, on right hand side, c plus d upon c minus d. So these are the functions which are done on the given ratios. Conditional is this thing, a upon b has to be equal to c upon d. So we can perform these functions in order to find out and reach to a certain conclusion. Okay, let's look at certain questions now. Alright, so this is our question number 1. This is a question which is involving two given ratios, a is to b and b is to c, and we are supposed to find out a is to b is to c. So this is our type 1, in which we will be dealing with combining of the ratios. So you write these ratios as 3 is to 4 and b is to c as 7 is to 9. We are supposed to find a, b and c. So we'll try to simplify the given fractions in this format, a is to b and b is to c. So in order to have the combined fractions, we are supposed to get this as our common term. So here we can write these as 3, 4, here 7 and 9. So these things have to be same. So how do we make it same? So usually we'll take the LCM of these two numbers. So how can you write the LCM of these two numbers? You can write 4 as 2 into 2 and 7 is 1 into 7. So your overall LCM would be 2 square into 7. So that will give you value of 28. So we will have to make this particular part over here as 28. So, and we can do that by multiplying the first expression by 7, because 7 times 4 is 28, and multiplying the second expression by 4, because 4 into 7 is also 28. So we'll get our final answer to be, this expression would be, the first expression would become 21 is to 28, because we are multiplying it by 7, and since we are multiplying the second one by 4, we'll get 28 is to 36. So our final answer would be 21 is to 28 is to 36. So this is one method of solving this particular question. At the same time, we can also save a little bit of our time by following this particular method. So you write the same expressions, 3, 4 and 7 and 9. So you multiply the first values of both the expressions, and then you do a cross multiplication by multiplying the first term of the second expression and second term of the first expression, and in the third step you will multiply the second term of both the expression. Alright, so this involves 3-step process. Multiplying in the first step, you are multiplying the first terms of both the expressions. In the second step, you are doing a cross multiplication. You are multiplying the second term with the first term. Now this becomes 4 into 7, 28. So second into first. And in the third step, you are multiplying the second terms of both the expressions. Second terms into second term. So you are getting 21 is to 28 is to 36. So This is how you combine the ratios, and this becomes our type 1. Let's have a look at the second question. Okay, so in second question we are given three ratios: A is to B, B is to C, and C is to D. And in fact we are given a fourth expression as well, D is to E. We are supposed to combine them again. So this is also our type 1 question. How will you do? We'll write them in our usual format. 2 is to 3, then B is to C is 3 is to 2, C is to D is 4 is to 5, and D is to E is 5 is to 4. So while combining, we'll follow the same three-step method. Here it will involve more steps because there are 5 variables given to us: A, B, C, D, and E. So in the first step, multiply the first terms: 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. Write them over here. In order to get B, you take the second term in the first expression, 3, and you multiply the remaining as usual. So what you are writing is 3 into 3 into 4 into 5. Now we are supposed to find C. So in order to find C, we are taking the second terms of the first two expressions. So 3 into 2, and then we are doing the cross multiplication process once again. So from here onwards you are multiplying 2 with 4 and then 4 into 5. So you are writing, now we are supposed to find D. So in order to find D, again we'll follow the similar pattern, but now we are multiplying second term of the first three expressions. So 3 into 2 into 5 and then the cross. So write it as 3 into 2 into 5 into 5 again. Now in order to find E, again we'll multiply the extreme ends: 3 into 2 into 5 into 4. 3 into 2 into 5 into 4. So this will give you E. So these becomes our updated terms. Write them in their original format. 5 times 4 is 20, 20 into 3 60, and 60 into 2 is 120. This thing B becomes 5 times 4 is 20, 20 times 3 is 60, 60 times 3 is 180. Next, 5 times 4 is 20, 20 times 2 is 40, 40 times 3 is 120. Now write for D. 5 times 5 is 25, 25 times 2 is 50, 50 into 3 is 150. Again for E, same process: 5 into 4 20, 20 into 2 40, 40 into 3 120. So your ratio becomes 120 is to 180 is to, again 120 is to 150 is to 120. You will have to simplify these terms so that your final answer does not carry more than one multiple. So how do you get 0 gets cancelled out? These terms are divisible by 3, so you divide the expression by 3, so you will get 4 over here. 3 times 6 is 18, so this becomes 6, this becomes again 4, this is 5, and this is 4. You are getting these by dividing the entire given expression by 3. So your final ratio, that is A is to B is to C is to D is to E, becomes 4 is to 6 is to 4 is to 5 is to 4. This cannot further be divided, hence this becomes your final answer. Let's have a look at the next question. Okay, in question number 3, we are given A is to B as 5 is to 2, and we are given A minus B as 270. We are supposed to find A plus B. So here this becomes our type 2, that is we are doing certain operations on the given ratio. Look at this expression which is to be found out. So we are supposed to find A plus B. How can we write A plus B with the given information in the question? So we know that we have been given A minus B. This expression we have to keep in our mind. You can write A plus B as A plus B multiplied by this entire expression multiplied by a minus b divided by a minus b, because this will get cancelled out and the expression that would remain would be a plus b. But there is a catch here. We are given a minus b in absolute terms as 270. At the same time, you can write a minus b in its ratio form by taking these values 5 and 2. So a minus b here can be written as 5 minus 2, right? At the same time, this a plus b can also be written as 5 plus 2. So a plus b would become 5 plus 2, 7. But this 7 is not your final answer, because this is, here we are dealing only with the terms of the given ratio. So in order to get the absolute term for a plus b, we'll write a plus b as this thing 5 plus 2, which is our ratio form, addition of the terms involved in the ratio, these 5 and 5 plus 2. We are multiplying it by 270, that is the absolute term of a minus b, and you are dividing it by the difference in the ratio of a minus b, that is 5 minus 2, here 3. This is 90 and this is 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 into 90 is 630. So this is how you get the absolute term of absolute value of a plus b. And this is another type which is very commonly and frequently asked in the examination. Let's have a look at one more question. Okay, this is another question of same type, that is your type 2. And let's have a look. A is to B is to C is given to be 4 is to 2 is to 5, and you are given B plus C. We are supposed to find the difference in the value of A and C, right? So we can write A minus C, or the difference between A and C, as again same A minus C into, since we are given B plus C, we'll write it as B plus C upon B plus C. But one of them would be absolute and one of them would be ratio. So from here you can find out the difference between A and C is 4 minus 5 or 5 minus 4. So the difference is 1. You are multiplying it by the absolute term, that is 350. This is our absolute sum of B and C, and addition of the ratio value of the given expression. So B, you add the ratio values of B and C, which are 2 and 5. So 2 plus 5, so this becomes 7. So 350 upon 7 is 50. So 50 becomes the difference between the values of A and C. Alright, let's have a look at the next question. Okay, so this is the question number 5, which is talking about A is to B is 1 is to 3 and 1 is to 2. We are supposed to find the value of A and A is to B. Okay, so in these questions, this is our type 3 and it is involving fractions. So we'll write them here. 1 upon 3 is to 1 upon 2. So in these type of question, all you have to do is take an LCM of these values. So the LCM of 3 into 2 is 6, and then you multiply this 6 by, here as well as here. So this cancels 6 by 2 and this cancels 8 by 3. So this becomes 2 is to 3. This is the shortcut method, but usually what you should be ideally doing is reversing the ratio, reversing the fraction, and then putting it in the original places. So when you reverse the ratio, 1 upon 3 becomes 3 upon 1 and 1 upon 2 becomes 2 upon 1, and then you are replacing it in the original places. So this becomes, the 2 comes here in place of A and 3 goes in place of B. So the ratio becomes 2 is to 3. So this is how you complete the process by reversing the given ratio, right? Let's have a look at the next question. Okay, so in question number 6 we are given this particular expression, that is a by 2 is equal to b by 3 equal to c by 4, and we are supposed to find a is to b is to c. So you can write a by 2 equal to b by 3 and which is equal to c by 4. So by taking this particular expression into consideration, you can write a by b as 2 by 3, and by taking this expression into consideration, you can write b by c equal to 3 by 4. All you are doing is taking this down here and this over here. Same for this as well. So now you know the ratios of A and B and B and C. That is 2 is to 3 and 3 is to 4. You have to combine the ratios now. You have to make this as their common number. So in order to do that, we'll follow the approach we have done already, and for that we'll multiply the first two terms. 2 into 3 6, then the cross multiplication, that is 3 into 3 9, and then the multiplication of the second terms, that is 3 into 4 12. Simplify this expression. All of them are divisible by 3, so divide them by 3. 3 times 2 6, 3 times 3 9, and 3 times 4 is 12. So this is how you solve this type of question. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, so question number 7 is dealing with the percentage value. So this becomes our next type 4. So A's income is 20% more than B's income. B's income is 10% less than C's income, and we are supposed to find the ratio of incomes of A, B and C. Okay, so consider the first line alone. A's income is 20% more than B's income. So if you assume B's income to be 100, A's income is 120. Now consider the second statement. B's income is 10% less than C's income. So if C is 100 here, then B is 10% less. So that becomes 90. So now you have you can write these in ratio forms, and you have two ratios at your service. A is to B is, you cancel these things, 0 gets cancelled out, 2 times 6, 2 times 5. So A upon B is 6 is to 5. This is the ratio of the incomes of A and B. Similarly, for B and C, you can write them as 9 is to 10. Again, you are supposed to combine the ratios. How will you do that? You will multiply these first terms, then the cross between second term and the first term, and then a multiplication of the last two terms. So 6 times 9 is 54, is to 5 times 9 is 45, and then 5 into 10 is 50. So this becomes the ratio of the incomes of A, B and C. That is A is to B is to C. And this is how you solve these questions. Let's have a look at the next one.